You may be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is the case of Kelso versus Davis.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Ms. Kelso, you are in court today to prove that Mr. Davis is the father of your 9-month-old baby, Connor Kelso.
Yes, Your Honor.
You claim Mr. Davis has done nothing for your son, so you're suing for half the child-rearing expenses in the sum of $2,561. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Davis, you say Ms. Kelso was in a relationship with another man, Mr. Hafner, during the window of conception.
Yes, Your
So you are 100% certain that you are not Connor's father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Kelso, you were in a relationship with another man, so why are you suing Mr. Davis?
Because our conception date aligns with the date that I was sexually active with Mr. Davis.
All right, please explain further. You all were in a relationship.
For about 4 years, on and off, whenever we weren't with somebody else, we were having sex with each other. And Mr. Davis and I had sexual intercourse while I was dating Mr. Hafner, even though he was out of town at the time.
So you were with another man, and then you saw Mr. Davis during that time?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you did sleep with Mr. Davis during the window of conception?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Davis, do you remember having sexual intercourse without using protection with Ms. Kelso?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you admit that it was during the window of conception?
I'm not sure when the window of conception is. That's based off of what she's told me.
Ms. Kelso, do you have any evidence that would prove the time frame? This is
the window of conception between the 5th and the 11th. Mr. Davis and I had sexual intercourse on the 7th, while me and Mr. Hafner had sexual intercourse on the 15th.
okay.
When he arrived back in town.
All right, so there is a window of conception between January 5th and January 11th. And then you were intimate with Mr. Davis on the 7th, which is in purple.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then Connor was born October 18th.
Yes, he was a week late.
So, Mr. Davis, does this look familiar? Were you with Ms. Kelso on January the 7th?
As far as that particular date, I'm not for sure. I was definitely with her during that time frame, though. Yes, yes, Your Honor.
You were?
Yes.
So, Ms. Kelso, you admit that you were also with another man?
Yes, Your Honor. It was Mr. Hafner.
Without protection?
Yes, Your Honor.
And when were you intimate with that man?
Around the 15th, when he arrived back in town.
Around the 15th of January?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So, Mr. Hafner, that's the man you were intimate with on the 15th?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, you say your baby was late.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you were with Mr. Hafner just 1 week after you were with Mr. Davis?
Yes, Your Honor.
And your baby was how many days late?
6, Your Honor.
6 days late. Okay. When the child came late, did you ever think to yourself, maybe it's Mr. Hafner's child, not Mr. Davis?
I just go by the conception date. And by the way that my son looks, I see it in his skin color. The more I see his skin get darker. But that could also be Mr. Hafner's family because they're half Puerto Rican and they have dark children in their family as well, so.
That I don't believe that child looks anything like me, Your Honor.
You don't see a resemblance at all?
I don't see it at all.
But he's also a mixed baby. He's got me in him, too.
I have no reason to believe this child is mine. She flat out came out and told me the child.
But if he's there, you know,
so
why would he be there if he didn't think
so? The child was not yours?
Several times. She's told me in person the child's not mine. She's told me over Facebook. I have pictures of her telling me on Facebook
I'd like to see those.
that she's not, that I'm not the father.
So this is a post from you, Amber Kelso. It reads, "My son is not yours."
Yes, I told him that because I didn't want him coming back to my house while I was pregnant. He put me through way too much stress, so I just told him the child's not yours to get him away from me.
When you tell a man, my son is not yours, and you don't just tell him, you write it, he's likely to believe that.
I know, and I wanted him to because I wanted him to stay away from me.
So, Ms. Kelso, you say that he hasn't contributed at all to the child-rearing expenses you've incurred thus far.
No, he has not, and I have put together a little draft of the expenses that I have had to purchase, things that I've had to buy for my son since he was born.
I'd like to see those.
I brought her a bunch of baby clothes, a bunch of baby blankets.
Did you bring the receipts for those purchases?
No, I did not.
How much did they cost?
They were very low cost, and I mean, some of them were dollars. I mean, no more than $10 for all of them.
So you spent $10 on baby clothes and items for the baby. Ms. Kelso, you handed me a list of the expenses you've incurred thus far.
Yes.
And this totals $5,122.
Yes, Your Honor.
That you spent on this baby in 9 months.
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Davis, you say you contributed $10 to that.
Your Honor, I know for a fact at least 10 people that I know personally that she's had intercourse with. I have no reason to be there for this child.
But Mr. Davis fails to explain about the times that I had sex with the people that he knows, because none of them were around the area of the conception date, not even months around.
So, Mr. Davis, even if she was sleeping with other people, you've admitted in court that she was sleeping with you.
She was.
So you potentially could be this child's father. I
could be, but I 100% don't believe I am. She's the most promiscuous person that I know by far. She's not the first one. She has first, second, and third place.
Your Honor, I stopped being promiscuous when I met Mr. Hafner on November 8th, 2013.
That was the exact date.
The exact date. That's the day I met him. That's the day that I started sleeping with him, and that's the day that I started dating him, the day I met his family. They're all here present today. And the only reason that Mr. Davis is in the picture is because I had been cheated on by Mr. Hafner, and so I cheated back with Mr. Davis.
I thought you said November 8th you stopped being promiscuous. So it was revenge sex.
Yes, absolutely.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. So, Mr. Davis, you constantly talk about how promiscuous she is, and yet you keep sleeping with her.
That's all I was interested in.
And were you using protection all these times?
No, we weren't, because she told me that she was medically unable to have children. And in the 4 months that we were together, she never so much as had a scare with her. And we met, I can count with one hand. I don't even need all 5 fingers on how many times we've used condoms. And all of a sudden she's pregnant.
Are you
and all of a
proud
sudden
of this?
I'm the father. No.
Okay.
No, but a month before I got pregnant, I was even reconfirmed that I couldn't have kids because my cervix was too small. And then I pop up pregnant a month later. So it came to as a surprise to me and to everybody that I was pregnant. It was like a miracle baby. It wasn't ever supposed to happen.
But you do understand that pregnancy is not the only consequence of unprotected sex. You get that, right? That there are other serious consequences.
Yes, Your Honor.
And while I don't condone you sleeping with everyone all over town, Ms. Kelso, what I also don't condone is men standing in my courtroom constantly downgrading women, talking about they sleeping with everybody, and then they sleep with the same woman and don't protect themselves. I think I'm ready to hear from Mr. Hafner. Jerome, please escort Mr. Hafner into the courtroom. Mr. Hafner, thank you for joining us today. I have to ask you, do you think baby Connor is your child?
That's what I think.
You do?
Yes, Your Honor.
And so, have you done anything for Connor thus far? Have you helped in raising him?
Yes, Your Honor. I have been feeding him, being there for him, showing him I love him.
What are you holding? Is this evidence you brought to court?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'd like to see what that evidence is. What is this, sir?
It's a picture of me and Connor.
It is?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you're presenting this picture to show a resemblance, and is this you when you were a child?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then baby Connor?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you believe there is a resemblance?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. When you look at that picture, Mr. Davis, do you see a resemblance?
They're twins. How am I can't tell them apart. That's his child.
How convenient. So, after you found out she was pregnant, question whether or not you were the father. Were you involved in the process? Did you participate in the
Yeah, I was there all the time. I was there all the time. I was there up until about 6 months. I went to quite a few doctor's appointments when she asked me to go. I never had an issue with going.
He showed up at my house about 4 times during my entire pregnancy.
Not true. Not
3
even
of them
close to
trying to
being
look
true.
for sex.
Not even true. Not even.
And then the other one was for my mom to take us to Orlando to the appointment that showed the gender of my son, and he just sat there in the chair and looked stupid.
Mr. Hafner's family has even been supportive to you.
The entire time, since I was pregnant, into the time that I gave birth, the day I gave birth, ever since they have been in my life. Connor sees them regularly, at least 3-4 times a week. I take
She's
them
made
over to their
zero
house.
attempts to reach out to me or my family. Through another mutual friend via Facebook, I've seen pictures of her with Connor and his family and having just around Mr. Hafner's family. That's it.
Because
you know,
he
leading
stresses
them
me
to
out.
believe,
That's what
oh,
he
this
does, so I didn't
is
want him
his
near me.
family. You know, this is his child. Yet I'm the father. Yeah, you know, yet the child looks just like me.
Well, I mean, Ms. Kelso, that is an interesting point.
Oh,
On the one hand, you're saying he stresses you out and you don't want him to be around. On the other hand, you're accusing him of not helping and not being involved with the child
because
when it's
he
his.
told me he wants all or nothing. His words, not mine.
So, Ms. Kelso, you have a witness that you brought
yes,
today?
I did.
I'd like to hear from her.
This
Ma'am,
is
please
Miss
stand.
Hafner, Mr. Hafner's mother.
Thank you for joining us.
This
Ma'am,
is hurting me because I believed Connor is ours. He looks like my dad. I have pictures to prove it.
I'd like to see those.
To show you, he looks just like my dad.
And this is really upsetting you.
Yeah, I believe he's my grandbaby.
And it's important to you. You don't have to be sorry about being emotional about a child. We understand how important they are.
I love him to death.
And this is a picture of Connor on the left, and this is a picture of Mr. Hafner's grandfather, which is your father,
Yes, Your Honor.
on the right. And you say you truly see a resemblance.
Yes, Your Honor.
On a scale from 1 to 10, that's an 11. And you compare our two pictures, and that's maybe a 2.
Ms. Kelso, I have to say, it's very interesting as I listen to this family testify. This young man says he really thinks this is his child. He wants it to be. You have this entire family that has basically taken you in, accepted your child, loves your child, and yet you're suing Mr. Davis.
I want to know who my son's father is. It's just sad that these people who have cared so much that they don't know the truth, and we're here to find out the truth because
we wanna know.
my son deserves to have a father in his life, regardless of the financial expenses. He deserves to have somebody who will play with him, who will
deserves
take
a
him to the
family
park,
that will love
who will
him.
sit there and feed him when he needs food, take care of him, love him unconditionally. That's what my son needs.
These are baby pictures of both potential fathers. Connor being in the middle. When you look at these pictures, Ms. Kelso, do you see more of a resemblance between your child and one of these men?
His nose looks like Jamal's. His eyes look like mine. His lips look like Richard. His hair looks like Jamal's. I just can't tell. They're so similar in different ways.
You
don't
are
know.
truly confused.
I am.
I can see it on your face.
I'm just absolutely confused, and I don't know.
You really are confused, and I can see it.
I made a mistake by cheating on Mr. Hafner with Mr. Davis. I made that mistake, and I don't know.
That's exactly why we're here.
For him.
And so the truth of the matter is, although you're here suing Mr. Davis for half of the child rearing expenses you've incurred thus far, the truth is you don't know who your child's father is.
No.
I would prefer it to be Richard, but I'm almost certain that it's Mr. Davis's.
Well, I wish it was a matter of preference. Are you ready for the results?
Absolutely.
I cannot rule on your lawsuit until we know if, in fact, Mr. Davis is your child's biological father, because you understand that if he is not, he has no legal obligation to financially support him.
Yes, Your Honor.
Jerome, I'm ready for the envelope. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. Do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings. In the case of Kelso versus Davis, as it pertains to 9-month-old Connor Kelso, as to whether Mr. Hafner or Mr. Davis is the biological father, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Hafner, you are not the father. Mr. Davis, you are the father. Do you need to sit down, Miss Kelso? You need to sit down. Okay.
Hold me people.
It's okay.
My son needs a father. 2 other kids while I was pregnant. You knocked up 2 other girls while I was
I
pregnant.
take care of my other 2, and I'm gonna take care of my 3rd. Regardless how you and I are, that has nothing to do with Connor.
Mr. Davis, Ms. Kelso came to court saying that she spent $5,122 thus far in child care expenses, minus the $10 that you have contributed thus far. So for that reason, my award is for the plaintiff for $2,551. Mr. Davis, Ms. Kelso says during the time she was pregnant, you've also had 2 other children. Is that correct?
Yes, I do have 2 other children.
Now you have 3 children?
Yes, Your Honor.
How old? Connor's 9 months. How old are the other 2?
Months. I have a 4-month-old and I have a month-old.
Come on, man. You're just a baby-making factory. You're just producing people. Miss Kelso, come stand back over here at this podium, because I'm gonna give you some real tough love. Now, you admit it, you have laid around all over town. This is a lesson for you.
I haven't been with anybody since I've last slept with Mr. Davis.
Do you have a nerve to get indignant with me when you're the one that had a good family and a good boyfriend? No, hold on.
I found out my wrongs a long time ago.
Stop that drama now. Stop that drama. You turn the table on yourself. You know what self-sabotage is? Do you know what that is?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do not underestimate the part you had to play in this. I say it all the time. It's big girl panty time now, baby. Right. Put them on. We have counseling for you both. You have a beautiful family here. Don't block your blessings, all right?
My grandson.
Court is adjourned.